Hi, I'm Steve Christian, the host and producer of a TV show that aired locally in Jacksonville for 10 years called Local Haunts. And today I'm going to tell you about the day my life changed forever. Back in 2012, Local Haunts had already been on the air for 2 years and was a big hit here in Jacksonville. And I got a Facebook message from an acquaintance that actually met on a Local Haunts investigation. Back in 2010, in the first season of Local Haunts, we investigated the St. Augustine Lighthouse, which is featured on other paranormal shows. And the place is very haunted. But on that particular investigation, we allowed fans to come along on the investigation as well. And there was a lady named Monica who was a part of that investigation as a fan. 2 years later, I get a Facebook message from her that said that she wanted to meet with me because she had a friend who's a medium and she wanted to pick my brain about doing a TV show for her friend, the medium. Now, doing local haunts, I had been approached by no less than 5 or 6 mediums over the years that had wanted to be a part of local haunts. And I just dismissed them because, frankly, I thought they were nothing more than, fame whores trying to use the popularity of my show to advance themselves as some sort of a star in the paranormal world. But Monica wasn't asking me to put her friend on my show. They were asking me to pick my brain as a producer on how to do a show for her friend, for her to do a show for her friend. So I agreed to meet with them and see what was up. So we set a date for July 24th, 2012, where I was going to meet Monica and her friend, the medium. We decided to meet in a restaurant for dinner. I was the first to arrive and I was sitting at a booth facing the front door. And when Monica came in, she recognized me, and I didn't know if I was going to recognize her or not because it had been a couple of years since I'd seen her that one time. But she recognized me sitting at the table and she waved and came over. And with her was this beautiful, tall blonde. They came over to the table. I stood up, gave her a hug, and then I met her friend, Pamela, and gave her a big hug too. And then we sat down at the table across from each other. Pamela was directly across from me, and Monica was to her left, to my right. And we sat there and we talked for a few minutes. Pamela said that she had never seen my show, and that intrigued me. Here she was meeting with me to pick my brain about doing a show, although, truth be told, she had no interest in doing a TV show. This was Monica's idea. Pamela was just going along for the ride. But since she was not asking to be on my show, I was more intrigued to give her a listen. So we talked a little bit about local haunts and the paranormal in general and my background growing up seeing scary things. And then I had to excuse myself and go to the bathroom. I'm walking to the back of the restaurant where the bathroom is located, and plain as day, I hear somebody, a male voice, say, "Steve." And I assume somebody recognized me from the show. So I'm turning around, I'm looking around, and nobody's making eye contact, which I thought was weird. You're going to call my name, but did not be looking at me when you get my attention. So I thought that was strange. I go in the bathroom, do what I had to do, wash my hands, come back to the table. And as soon as I sit down across from Pamela, she immediately starts reacting as if somebody's yelling in her ear. She's like going like holding her right ear and she's like wincing in pain. And I'm like, okay, that's a little strange. Didn't say anything about it. She didn't say anything about it. Just kind of like, all right, that happened. So went on with our meeting. And we probably sat there for like another hour talking about things. And then when we finally decided to leave, I was very intrigued about Pamela because there was something about her that was just struck me as different. So in the parking lot, we're saying our goodbyes, and I said, "Can I friend you on Facebook?" And she goes, "Well, I don't really do anything on Facebook, but sure, I have a page. You can message me." So the next day, I'm at work at the TV station where I worked, and she was at her house at the beach, and I messaged her on Facebook. It was an honor to meet you, and I really enjoyed our time. And without me asking, she wrote on the messenger, "You heard somebody call your name in the restaurant yesterday, didn't you?" Now, keep in mind, this happened at the back of the restaurant. I was nowhere near the table at the time, so she didn't know that. I never said that somebody called my name, but somehow Pamela knew. So I confirmed, yes, I did hear a man call my name. And she goes, "Well, his name is Russell. He died of a head wound, and he's in your office right now." I'm like, "What?" She's 12 miles away at the beach. She didn't know I had somebody call my name, and she's telling me that it's a spirit and they're in the office with me right now. Kind of blew my mind, but it gets better. She said, "He'll move something for you." Keep in mind, I'm a paranormal investigator. My job is to catch things on camera for local haunts that prove the existence of a haunting. And here I'm sitting in my office just chatting on Facebook, and a ghost is going to do something for me. How about that? So I looked down on my desk and I see a stack of papers. I said, okay, there's some paper on my desk. Have him move it. And I'm typing this to Pamela. And she writes back, he's there. Ask him yourself. So I said, okay, Russell, move this piece of paper. God is my witness. The piece of paper lifted up off the desk, hovered about 2 inches, and then laid back down on the desk. I couldn't believe it. This happened on command, something that never happens on a paranormal investigation, but yet here it goes. I'm in my office, nobody's around, and this piece of paper lifted up off the desk and sat back down right after I asked him to do it. And I'm typing, holy shit, it just happened. So she told me he's the one that called my name in the restaurant. He came with me to the restaurant. I didn't know I had a tag along with me the whole time. So imagine being Pamela, somebody who can see and hear the spirit world like we see and hear everybody else. It's got to be crazy. She walks into a restaurant, there's a lot of living people, and of course, there's a few dead ones just standing around too. And Russell was one of them. Somehow I heard Russell call my name when I'm going to the restroom, and he was yelling at Pamela. That was her reaction that I saw. He was literally yelling in her ear, tell him I'm here, that he heard me, because Russell knew I heard his voice. And he's like, he heard me. So he's trying to get Pamela to tell me that he's there, but she ignored him. She's blowing him off, something she does in public, because the interesting thing about being a ghost whisperer is if you make eye contact with a ghost in a restaurant, or they see that you see them, they, oh my God, you see me. And so they're all over her, like trying to get her attention and get her to do things. So anyway, she had she was busy ignoring Russell the rest of the time we were together. So I had no idea all this was going on while we're having our conversation, that there's a man standing there by the table screaming in her ear that I couldn't see. Crazy. So I was so impressed by what happened that she can do that remotely. She's miles away, and she knew that he was in the office with me, and that she was having communication with him, that he would move a piece of paper on my desk if I asked him to. Who can do that? So that moment forward, I knew I had to work with Pamela. At our meeting, she told me that I too was a sensitive, and that I just needed to open up my can of whoop ass, because I'd suppressed it over the years because I was scared by what I saw as a kid. So now I wanted to reopen my gifts because I wanted to use them on the show Local Haunts. So I asked her, who the hell is Russell and what's he doing here in my office? She told me that Russell was just hanging out at a gas station, because earthbound spirits got to be somewhere. I went in to buy a Coke or something, and he saw me and jumped in the car with me and followed me back to work. And he just hung out at this TV station. She told me later that Russell had been executed with a gunshot to the head. And when she said he was wearing a red shirt, she was being kind. But that's just how she rolls. So that's the day that changed my life forever. Pamela Theresa came into my life, blew my mind, and agreed to work with me and help me open up my gifts, working with the spirit world. And let me tell you, the past going on 13 years has been a pretty fun ride. Thanks for watching. If you would like to have a session with Pamela Theresa, because her day job is doing readings for people, she doesn't just see ghosts, she also communicates with the heavenly transition world, your loved ones on the other side. So if you'd like to have a reading with her, just go to PamelaTheresa.com and you can schedule a reading right there, and she can read you no matter where you are in the world. As she proved to me, she'll have to be in the same room with you. You could be on the moon and she can do a reading with you. It doesn't matter, because your people in spirit are standing there talking to her, and she tells you what they're saying. Also, you can join her free online community, mediumintheraw.com. She does webinars. We have all kinds of fun conversations, exclusive stuff that you're only going to find on the community. It's absolutely free. So join mediumintheraw.com. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you next time for more My Haunted Medium Life.